Hey guys, and welcome back to Culture Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe, and we are back for another random anime review.
Woo, yeah.
This time, it's truly random again.
Mm-hmm.
Pepe compiled me a list, 1 to 10 or something like that,
Yeah.
and I just picked one.
Mm-hmm. This is off like the most popular anime on Crunchyroll right now. So like if you haven't listened to this before, we cut out all the ones we've seen before, all the series that we know, and we just chose something at random that neither of us had seen or heard of.
Yeah, we also cut out anything that's like a season 2 or basically anything that's not the first season.
Yeah.
Something just brand new that neither of us have heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And today we are talking about Shinobi no Ittoki.
Yes. Otherwise known as Ittoki the Ninja. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, it doesn't officially have an English name,
Yeah.
but let's face it, that's what it would be.
Yes.
Ittoki the Ninja, or Ninja Ittoki.
Yes.
Because it's about the main character, Ittoki Sakuraba, who is a junior high school kid, not even high school kid.
Mm.
And his life becoming the next leader of the Iga Ninja Village.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the basic summary of it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's literally if you go give it in like a couple sentences, that is the whole premise of this story. Like the story starts off with him just going to high school. He does like a bunch of extra classes that his mum signed him up for, like gymnastics and or was it just extra like cram school and stuff like that?
Yeah, 6 cram schools, gymnastics, dancing.
Yeah.
He does something else as well. I can't remember.
There was like he was saying that he managed to get out of flower arranging or something like that.
That was it, right?
Yeah.
The flower club, the dance club, the gymnastics, the 6 cram schools, and whatever else.
So he basically has no social life, and then one day a girl like asks him out, and he's like, "Oh my god, this is the first time that I could have a social life." And his mum's like, "Nah, you can't do that. You got to stick to your classes." And one day he's just like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go see this girl." And then it turns out she wants to kill him.
Because she's from a rival ninja clan.
Yeah, but he doesn't know anything about ninjas at this point. He's like, oh, like he goes back to her house and he's like, oh my god, what? This is a prank, isn't it? There's someone under the bed. And he looks under the bed. There's a fucking ninja there, and he's like, what the fuck? And then yeah,
like basically we skipped just like I want to say like 60% of the first episode.
absolutely though.
But that's because it's not important. It literally isn't important.
A lot of it is character introductions to like sort of people that like you see his mum and you see like a couple of his classmates. You see his uncle who drives him around. Like,
Well, it's not really his uncle. He just calls him uncle.
he calls him uncle, but like, yeah, it's just like, the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, something's off straight away because
Yeah.
his childhood friend, Kotsetsu,
Mm-hmm.
she's already wearing a mask and
Yeah.
already kind of looks like a ninja. And you're like, when you're like, if I wasn't aware of what I was watching, if I was super dense and didn't realize shinobi is just the word for ninja in Japanese, you'd be like, oh, something's up with that girl.
Yeah, she's like really got really long hair as well, and she's wearing a mask all the time.
Yeah, and she's like super like mysterious and a bit like standoffish, but then you're like, okay.
Always keeps her distance from him as well. Like he's always there, but doesn't really stand by him. Like when they're walking home or whatever, just keeps a little bit random distance.
Yeah, she's like a bodyguard, but not a bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then like, why is this kid doing all these like extracurricular activities instead of being a kid?
Yeah, it's like if you didn't know what the whole premise of this show is about, if you just blind watch this, like, okay, I'll just put this like show on, no idea of the title or the premise or anything, you'd be like, yeah, so something's up with all these people that are around him. Like every single character that is mentioned, like in this, even the people that are like it's kind of subtle when you meet them the first time. It's like, there's something up with these people. Like every single person in this has an ulterior motive, and you know it.
Well, it's literally like when Pepe was talking about like his uncle Tokisada Kaga.
Yeah.
Uncle, again, quote unquote. I didn't realize it at first until later in the series, like in the episode. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
guy's got like a scar going down his eye.
He's the most suspicious looking dude. Like the fact that he looks like a ninja. Man
Yeah.
looks like a ninja. He's a mask away from being Kakashi.
I was just about to say that. I was like, this is the fucking Kakashi. Like, dude's got a scar down his fucking left eye, which Kakashi does. Like, you're just like, oh my god.
Even in his introduction, like where he's being shouted at by a customer in his day job, you can be like, this isn't this guy's normal thing that he does. Like,
No. Especially if you know anything about Japan as well. Like, this guy is so nonchalant and does not care.
yeah.
And you're like, this isn't Japan's service.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's always like so on it with the customer service. And this guy,
Yeah.
I'm like, he would never work here. He'd get fired after a day.
It's like the equivalent of Goku working in a fucking supermarket. That's what it is.
Yeah, innit?
And it's like you can tell this isn't his first thing. This isn't what he's good at. And then obviously from that, with the scar and his like build, like it's just like this guy is definitely like some sort of ninja. Like you can just tell everything about him screams ninja.
Well, I mean, like everything about this series, again, if you didn't even know it was about ninjas, right? It's all just a slight hint of ninjas.
Yeah.
Because like his school is the Something Eager Junior High School.
Yeah.
And like if you're like me and you're like a massive ninja like buff, like you know stuff, right? Eager is like one of the most famous like ninja villages, most famous clans. So then like again, I'm already then just picking up like, oh okay, I get you. I see what you did. I wasn't expecting it to be like, oh no, all the ninja clans and villages still exist. All the famous ones, we just evolved and you know you don't notice us because we're true ninjas. I thought it was just going to be like, we're the last ones and you are our leader, so sort it out.
He kind of thought it was going to be like a kind of Hitman Reborn kind of vibe, I guess. Like, yeah.
Kind of, yeah, because like the start of the whole series kind of makes you think it's going to be like that typical like, oh, we're the last of our kind and you're the main character, so you're going to like revive the ninja village. Because it's all very typical like slice of lifey school anime, you know.
Yeah.
He talks with his friends, he can't hang out. They're like, oh, why are you doing all this stuff? Come karaoke instead. You should be making memories in school. And he, you know, it's very slice of lifey typical stuff. But then it gets rid of that in the latter half of the first episode and just goes balls to the wall crazy with the ninja stuff.
Literally, like as we said like before, like yeah, this girl tries to kill him, and then like it's suddenly like, oh, all of these people that he had around him who he thought were normal people for some reason just like all turned up and they're all trying to defend him and get him away from this assassination attempt that this girl's.
Literally every single one of them is a ninja.
Yeah.
Every single person in any scene after that is a ninja except for him, because like he like turns up in some random part of town.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not from here. He's talking to a policeman, and then you're led to believe that the policeman's killed by these other ninjas. And then Tokisada turns up and he's like, oh man, what a pain. Mendokusai, you know. And then he's like, oh, I better get paid extra for that guy who's pretending he's dead, which is the policeman. And then it turns out they're all fucking enemy ninjas. Tokisada turns out is the best ninja.
Yeah, who would have guessed?
I know, right? Kakashi is the best ninja so far. Like, oh my god, copycat Kakashi, demon god Tokisada. Like, oh.
Yeah, literally everything about it is just like, oh, it's funny. I'm like, you watch it. I literally watched all of this. By the end of the episode, I'm like, of course it is. Of course this is exactly how this went down. Of course this guy is like the demigod ninja, or whatever the fuck he's called.
Yeah,
and like he's of course he's famous, and like suddenly it's like, yeah, okay, fine, just accept it.
There's this thing like, I didn't hate it though.
No,
you're like. Even though everything I could see just like on the wall,
yeah,
it tried to hide things, but it also didn't, because it was sort of like poked and prodded at you, like, ninjas, yeah. right? And you're like, yeah, I get it.
For a series about ninjas, which are supposed to be subtle, it is the least subtle thing that I have ever watched.
Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, you know, when you're just like, it's not bad. It was watchable. I wouldn't regularly watch this, but yeah,
I don't actually think it's a bad series at all, to be honest, because like the first episode, it actually kind of grabbed me, because I remember like when we watched this, or when we actually chose the anime itself, we were like, oh, Ittoki the Ninja, it sounds like the most basic thing ever.
Yeah.
And like I know I had my doubts about it. I was a bit skeptical, but when I actually watched the first episode, I was pleasantly surprised because I had such low expectations from it.
I think it's the same for me as well.
Yeah.
Because again, like the title's pretty generic. The cover art that I saw
Yeah.
was pretty generic.
Yeah.
Like the premise is sort of. I don't want to keep saying generic. I'm ragging on this series,
Hmm.
but like everything just seemed like it's a cookie cutter, like whatever in it. Like
The thing is, though, the reason why it's not bad is because it is very basic at the same time. It doesn't do anything wrong, but that's because it plays it very safe in what it does.
yeah,
I don't know how many episodes you watched at all.
I literally just watched the first one.
So I actually, because like I didn't really have much to do yesterday. I end up watching the next 4 or 6 after it.
Dang.
And the thing is with it, what happens is that he has to go to this ninja school.
Okay, I
Yeah.
saw that coming. I could have guessed that without even having to watch another episode.
From that, like, sort of, like, is the sort of thing where it's like, oh, okay, well, like, now you know about a ninja life, you gotta go to the ninja school, like, the world famous ninja school, and it's like...
Naruto fucking
Yeah.
comparison continues. Like, oh no, you joined the academy.
It is kind of like that, like, it has to do an exam where it's hide and seek, but... and then, but the...
Are you sure he doesn't need to create clones?
no clones in this, funny enough, no clones so far that I've watched.
You become a genin when you create a clone successfully.
What happened? It's basically they played a game of hide and seek, but the Cougar clan rig it.
Of course, yeah.
So with the hide and seek sort of thing, he ends up going against that girl that we met in that first episode. She goes in disguise and starts like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna kill you. And they have basically this thing that, oh, we got to eliminate the Eager clan because he's the next generation. He's gonna be the next leader or whatever. So that happens. Bunch of stuff goes down, and like. And again, it doesn't do anything wrong because this is like very basic in what it is, but it's still like a decent watch. I had it on in the background. I was just like watching like bits and pieces go down, and like it was fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But the thing is, as the episodes went on, it becomes more and more like, okay, cool, it's going into the tropes now. It doesn't do anything different from any anime that I've watched previously. So, in my opinion, it kind of just slows down a bit in the fact that all the stuff that I watched before, or all the stuff that I liked from the first episode, like, oh, this is quite intriguing, just becomes a bit meh. And in my opinion, the first couple episodes are actually probably the best ones from what I've seen. I actually think that the first episode it's not the worst thing I've seen, especially in terms of like we have said, yeah, it plays into tropes or whatever, but it's still quite enjoyable. You can still enjoy it.
I mean, in the first episode when there's actually stuff going on, as in like action or something, like the animation's pretty cool. Like when he's like, oh crap, I'm gonna be late for cram school, shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
When you see him doing like gymnastics, but it's not like, it's like actual acrobatics, it's not fake ninja crap.
It's clean animation as well. It's not like it's like the animation is shite either. It's good animation. In my opinion, some of the character designs are a bit lacking, but I'm not gonna hate on it for that much on it. I'm not too fussed about that. It's the story that kind of drives it for me. And like, yeah, the first episode was enough to make me watch the second one. So let's put it that way.
Fair. I mean, I would, like I said before, like it's fine. It's decent. It's just not something I would watch regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I might decide at some point, oh yeah, I'll drop in and watch episode 2, and then like however many I feel like that time, and then just whatever happens kind of thing. Like I'm not like, oh man, I gotta know what's going on with Ittoki the ninja. Oh my god.
As I said, like you get more characters introduced a bit later on, yeah, when those characters get introduced, it does like there's a little bit of like drama that goes on. You get to see different from people from different clans as well, which is interesting. You see someone who's interested in ninja tools, someone like
of course, there's always someone who's interested in ninja tools. God.
Yeah, it is kind of like it plays into the tropes as well. Oh, this is the fancy dorm. It looks really nice. Oh, that's the Cougar clan's dorm though. You're gonna be staying in this dorm, which is the really shitty run-down ghost-looking dorm. And like it's of course it is, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. 'Cause they do also say at the end of the first episode, like all the villages have persisted in some way.
Mm-hmm.
The Eager, they only have like this service area, like service station, like rest stop
Yeah.
to to their name. So they're not like super rich, but they still exist. But then the Koga clan are like the rich guys who have got a bloody multinational
Yeah.
business, it looks like, or something.
It's literally that they have like a whole shopping center to themselves, basically, which is like, yeah.
So in that sense, like, yeah, without if Pepe hadn't told me, I probably could have guessed this stuff as well. Like, oh,
Yeah.
of course, the guys who are successful, they got the nice place to stay, and then you got to
Yeah.
stay in the like shack in the back of the campus, like way in the back. Nobody even knew it existed. Like, you got to fix it up yourself.
There's certain things in it as well which are like kind of like there's a rivalry between Itoki and another character, and like he's from the Cougar clan. I can't remember now.
Koga clan.
Koga. I've been calling it Cougar this whole time. Cougar, lol.
Because the Iga and the Koga are like the two most well-known actual real-world ninja clans.
My bad, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Lol.
I was gonna correct you, and then I was like, whatever.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, but like there's a guy from the Koga clan. He's like he resents Itoki because his clan killed like the head of the Koga clan at the time, who was all about peace and love.
Okay. Oh my.
But now his brother's overtaken it, and like, or some guy that looks very much like him is like overtaking it. And realistically, I can already tell this from a mile off. That guy that's in the head of the head of the Koga clan right now is definitely the guy that killed the old head, because it just like he just wants to do it to do his evil schemes. Then obviously they blame the Eager for that. And now it's just like, well, there we go. That's the story from there on. It's, as I said, it's basic, and you can probably tell what's going on from it. Like you can piece stuff together by like the second or third episode. Yeah, but like all in all, like this isn't a bad anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's still like it might have its generic bits, and like it might have its like kind of very semi-predictable storyline with some twists and turns, but like it isn't bad. It's like like I said before, it's just an easy watch. Like you can put it on in the background and just play some games or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the word I would use is, personally, I would use the word inoffensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't like really rock the boat in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. It's like we said before, it's like really safe.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is like kind of predictable, and it's feels like very self-aware.
Yeah.
Like it pokes and prods at you like, oh, ninjas in it, oi, oi, oi.
You know what this is? Like, I feel like if you hadn't watched anime before and you were just like, I want something that's very tame, something that like I could just easily watch, something that isn't too stressful, doesn't go into too many anime tropes. You know, like sometimes there's anime which really goes into like, oh, here's the panties, here's the nosebleeds, and it's like, fuck's sake, it's Japanese. It's so Japanese.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just like you said, inoffensive. It doesn't go too crazy. I think if you were going to start off watching anime, this actually wouldn't be horrendous.
No, it's quite tame, and like from the one episode I watched, it is like more grounded than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
I do agree, like, if you were to try and like ease someone into anime, maybe not making this their gateway one, but if there's someone who's really dubious about like supernatural things and like, oh, that's not real, and it's like,
yeah,
this one I guess would sort of pass the buck a little bit, because like it's not got anything like that majorly crazy.
I also did realize, I said, oh yeah, it's not got any panties or anything. Now I realized that episode 1 does have that bit where the girl gets completely naked within like the first like 15 minutes. So
yeah, also like that's also really weird, because it's like, oh, this is our first date, you want to come to my house? And then sat in her room and she's like immediately just like strips off like, let's do it. It's like,
yeah, maybe this isn't best for your first anime if you're gonna try.
There are worse things that probably happen in the first one.
Very true.
Like, come on, like
it's very true, very true.
I probably can think of a handful that are much worse than that within the first episode. One springs to mind already, and like, yeah. This is an easier one to be like, oh yeah, it's a little strange, it's a little Japanese, but
like, yeah, but like to kind of like wrap this up a little bit, I feel like out of all the anime reviews we've done on this channel, like we've done some very wild ones, some out there ideas. So this one like feels like we said the most grounded. Like out of all of them, it's not anything too original either. But it's like it's like a solid like 5. I'd say 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd agree with a 5. Like, if we had to put a number to it, like
Yeah.
middle ground, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's not terrible.
I will say though, the animation, like I feel like we mentioned it already. The animation is kind of clean though.
Oh yeah, it's super clean. Like we definitely did talk about it before. Like again, the whole like watching him do acrobatics and stuff, and like the art's very smooth and very clean. So like it's got that going for it. A lot of the characters, probably by design though, are like very anime generic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're like ninjas trying to blend in. So they would probably be a little bland on purpose, but maybe that's just me thinking too far into it. I don't know.
Sweet. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to say about this, Nathan?
No, not really.
Nah, I think that's the thing. Like, all I could say is like, if you're into ninjas and you just want a basic watch, yeah, just go for this. Nothing too heavy in it. Quite easy watch. Yeah, just go for it. I think that's all I have to say.
Cool. Well then, thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, leave us a comment, follow us on podcast platforms, links in the description, and follow us on Twitter if you're inclined to do so. And we'll catch you next time for another Cultured Boys. Bye.
Bye.